Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Jonathan back again with the Weekly Scuffle, and I'm here to talk about the upcoming Jake Paul versus Mike Perry boxing fight, and here to explain that this fight really isn't what everybody thinks it is, because yes, Mike Perry is probably more active and more in his prime than a lot of Jake Paul's previous opponents, but at the same time, I do feel like this is definitely a Jake Paul favored fight because it's kind of tailor made for him, shorter UFC fighters that are somewhat past their prime, even though Mike Perry has found great success in bare knuckle FC. I think boxing is just a completely different sport than bare knuckle FC, and I think Jake Paul will probably show Mike Perry that there are levels to boxing. And another factor which I believe Mike Perry isn't quite the opponent people are making him out to be is that Jake Paul, he's just naturally bigger than him, and he has that Mike Tyson fight coming up. And I'm pretty sure Jake Paul and Mike Perry have sparred before in the past, so his team and himself see something in Mike Perry that they think they could exploit and be able to turn around relatively quickly to fight Mike Tyson in November. So with that being said, I think this fight, while it could be competitive for some rounds because Mike Perry, he's game, he's ready to fight, he's willing to take damage, he's willing to take a shot to give a shot. But at the same time, I think Jake Paul just being taller, powerful, and overall probably a better boxer than Mike Perry. I think he'll have his way with him, especially since they're fighting at the cruiserweight limit. Mike Perry has fought one time in a boxing ring where he was knocked out by a now 13-5 boxer. But with that being said, I think that was towards the beginning of Mike Perry's professional combat career. So, a lot has happened since then. He joined the UFC. He had a good career there, and he's been in the BKFC now, and he's been great there for that organization. He's their current champion. And while I think that is definitely his sport, I think boxing and bare knuckle boxing aren't really the same thing at all. And I think it's really gonna show when these two fight. But with that being said, I think Mike Perry does have a slight chance to cause Jake Paul some problems because we haven't really seen him in there with a tough opponent since Nate Diaz, and even then, Nate Diaz never really hurt Jake or put him in any sort of trouble. After that fight, we've seen him in there with Andre August and Ryan Borland, who were both put in there to make Jake look good and to get Jake back on a KO streak, which I'm very interested to see if he could hurt Mike Perry in this fight because if he cannot, that might actually say a lot about the Mike Tyson fight because while Mike Tyson is relatively older, I feel like Jake winning that fight does depend a lot on his punching power and that ability to affect Tyson. So this fight is going to say a lot for not just Jake Paul's future, but Jake Paul's next fight against Mike Tyson. So with that being said, we'll see how all this plays out and see you next time. Peace.